Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava, Metzia, page 98. Top of the page, a nice connection between today's yard site. Shmuel Hanavi, Samuel the prophet, is told that the day of his passing is today. Yard site they call it, and or Hilula, and the way the Sephardim say it, Yom Hilula. 98 was the age of Eli HaKohen, as it's told in the book of Samuel. And Eli HaKohen has a direct connection to Samuel the prophet. Eli HaKohen was the priest in the tabernacle at Shiloh. I believe it was Shiloh. Yeah, I think so. When little Samuel was brought as a young boy to minister there. So the fact that we're on page 98, which are the years of Eli HaKohen's life, on the day of the yard site of Shmuel Hanavi, is, I think, significant. Top of the page with the words De'amar Rava, Minna li biyadcha, etc. As Rava says, one who approaches another and says, I have 100 dinars, 100 is Gematria Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. I didn't make this up. If you do the Gematria of Wednesday, in English Gematria, you will come up with, meaning, W is 23 because the 23rd letter, E is the 5th letter, etc. Wednesday equals 100, and the first thing I'm seeing here is, I have 100 dinars in your possession. It's a gematriatic universe. That's what I'm finding out. I have 100 dinars in your possession. The other says you have in my possession only 50 dinars that I'm not sure about. And as for the rest, I do not know. As one who admitted to part of a claim, he is liable by Torah law to take an oath that he does not owe other 50 dinars. Since he cannot take an oath to that effect, he is unsure. As he is unsure if he owes it, he must pay. Verstehst Yiddish? Very good. The Gemara explains Mishkach as la reisha mishtayim v'seifa b'shalosh. The Gemara explains how the Mishnah can be interpreted as referring to a case in which the defendant makes a partial admission, thereby requiring him to take an oath. You find it in the first clause. In other words, the first two cases of the Mishnah in a situation where he took hold of 2 cows, and in the latter clause, in other words, the third case, in a situation where he took hold of 3 cows. Reisha b'shtayim d'amrlei shtei paros mesarti la palgei yoma b'shela palgei yoma b'schilus. The Gemara explains one can interpret the first clause to be referring to a case where he took hold of 2 cows as follows. The case is that the owner said to the bailey, I delivered 2 cows to you under the agreement that one half of the day you would have them through borrowing and the other half of the day through renting. Or alternatively, chad yoma b'shela v'chad yoma b'schilus u'meser tavayu b'dan shela. Or alternatively, one day through borrowing or one day through renting, and I claim that both died during a period of borrowing, so you're liable to pay for both of them. I think for time we'll stick with just the English here. As the borrower said to him with regard to one of them, yes, I admit that it died during a period of borrowing, but with regard to the other one, I do not know whether it died during the period of borrowing or if it died during the period of renting. Because he admits to part of the claim, he is required to take an oath in order to be exempt from the rest of the claim, as he concedes that he does not know what happened. He is unable to take such an oath. The halakha is that since he is unable to take an oath, he must pay for both cows. And one can interpret the latter clause to be referring to a case where he took hold of 3 cows as follows. The case is that the owner said to the bailey, I gave 3 cows to you, 2 through borrowing and 1 through renting, and I claim that those two that were borrowed were the ones that died. And the borrower said to him, yes, I admit that one of the cows that was borrowed died, but with regard to the other that died, I do not know if it was the other cow that was being borrowed that died, and so the cow that is still alive is the one that was being rented, or if the one that was being rented died, and this one that is still alive is the one that was being borrowed, because he admits to part of the claim. In order to be exempt from the rest of the claim, he is required to take an oath, as he concedes that he does not know what happened. He is unable to take an oath, and the halacha is that since he is unable to take an oath, he must pay for both cows. The Gemara explains how the Mishnah can be interpreted even according to the unique opinion of Rami Bar Chama. And the Mishnah can be interpreted in accordance with the opinion of Rami Bar Chama, who says, in order for any of the 4 types of baileys to be required to take an oath, they need to make both a denial of part of the owner's claim and an admission of another part of his claim. According to his opinion, you find the bailey is liable to take an oath for the first clause, in other words, in the first 2 cases of the Mishnah, in a situation where he took hold of 3 cows, and in the latter clause, in other words, in the third case, in a situation where he took hold of 4 cows. The Gemara elaborates, one can interpret the first clause to be referring to a case where he took hold of 3 cows as follows. The case is that the owner said to the bailey, I gave 3 cows to you under agreement that one half of the day you would have them through borrowing and the other half through renting, or alternatively 1 through borrowing and 1 through renting. And I claim that all 3 of them died during a period of borrowing, and so you are liable to pay for all of them. And the borrower said to him, with regard to one of them, this matter never occurred, as I took only 2 cows from you. And as for the 2 cows I did take, with regard to one of them, yes, I admit that it died during a period of borrowing, but with regard to the other one, I do not know whether it died during a period of borrowing or if it died during a period of renting, because the bailey admits to part of the claim and denies another part of the claim. He is required to take an oath in order to be exempt from the rest of the claim. As he concedes that he does not know what happened, he is unable to take such an oath. The halacha is that since he is unable to take an oath, he must pay for all 3 cows. Sofer bi'arba, demrele arba paros nesadilach, shalosh b'shelach, adav b'schirus, mesu hanach shalosh, d'shelah, demrele. One can interpret the latter clause to be referring to a case where he took hold of 4 cows as follows. The case is that the owner said to the bailey, I gave 4 cows to you, 3 through borrowing and 1 through renting, and I claim that those 3 that were borrowed were the ones that died. And he said to him,